Mr. Duncan Hunter, Congressman, wonderful man. He stood up to these pinkos today at the hearings. Duncan Hunter, welcome to the Savage Nation.
Michael, how are you doing?
Duncan, Mr. Hunter, Congressman Hunter, I saw you today and I was impressed with your dignity. I got to tell you that. How you stood and listened to Lantos. I know you wouldn't put down a fellow congressman, but truthfully, he was in the gutter today. It embarrassed me to watch him. Why did he have to go out of his way to conduct a Soviet-style show trial of General Petraeus? I'll never understand. They took a good man like this and put him through a predetermined trial where he was guilty before he even opened his mouth.
Well, you know, the real plan was to prepare the battlefield all of last week. We actually had hearings last week, and what I didn't expect, because I know Tom Lantos. We've been friends, California colleagues for a long time. But he said last week in the hearing that the statement that General Petraeus made today would not be his own statement. It would be written by political operatives. And that's about the ultimate insult that you can give an American military leader who is asked to give his best assessment of what's happening in a warfighting theater where people are being killed.
You're right. General Petraeus was treated like an usher in a movie theater by Lantos. It was disgusting, and it was right out of the Soviet Union. I know you don't want to say those words, and I don't even think you'd agree with me, but I see it that way. They wanted him to confess to a crime he didn't commit before he even walked through that door. Congressman, tell me about those code stinkos who were in there. How did they get in there?
Well, I don't know. The protesters. The problem is you have to keep the door open for so many members of the public, and the idea is that the public come in, and that rule has been exploited by folks that want to come in, the so-called pink ladies who come in and leap up at intervals and shriek and scream. But you know, Michael, I come from California. Ronald Reagan used to say if he didn't have demonstrators, he'd rent them. I don't think. I think we were able to keep that hearing going fairly well today. And you know something? Let me tell you.
But wait, Congressman, wait a minute. You know that Code Pink are troublemakers. You heard her screaming. She belonged in a mental asylum, in my opinion, not on the floor of the U.S. Congress during a hearing as important as this. Why was she permitted in when they're known agitators? Can't you block people who are known troublemakers?
Yeah, actually, the folks who were in there were fairly low-level folks who were anonymous till they leaped up and started shrieking.
Well, wait, they were wearing pink outfits. Didn't they come in pink?
Well, they came in pink, but they weren't.
Well, you know, Congressman, you're a better man than I because you have more trust in human beings than I do. I believe that they were put in there by the Democrats in order to embarrass the Republicans and General Petraeus. But let's go to the next embarrassment today. That embarrassment was the microphone for General Petraeus was suspiciously off for a good number of minutes when he started to speak. How did that happen?
Yeah. Michael, you got me. That not only was his mic off, some of the members' mics were off. I think when we had 300 press guys come through that room, I think they were kicking cords left and right. So
all right, let me clear this up because I tend to think a little bit in a certain direction. You say some congressmen and women's mics were turned off. Was that across the board, Democrat and Republican, or was it limited to the Republican side only?
Looked to me like it was all the first row, which was Democrats and Republicans.
All right, fair enough. I move along then to the other issue, which is the show trial aspects of the hearing today. You raised up a newspaper ad that was taken by this vile anti-American group, MoveOn.org, for over a week now, saying that his name was General Petraeus, not General Petraeus. This is an orchestrated campaign that, again, Congressman, is identical to the massive state media campaigns that accompanied show trials in the Soviet Union in the 1930s in order to sway public opinion. This didn't happen by accident, in my opinion, where ads calling him General Petraeus came out before he even spoke. Would you like to address that point?
Yeah. Well, listen, you know that MoveOn.org is a hard left-wing organization. They're embraced by the Democrats when they're moving the Democrat ball down the football field and getting close to the goal line. I think they went too far today. I think they splashed a lot of problems back on the Democrats. And you know, the Democrats have been pretty smart about splitting this issue down the middle, pounding on the president, but constantly saying we still love the troops. When they went after the leader of the troops today, General Petraeus,
Yes.
They did a lot of collateral damage. Most of it was to themselves. I think they lost.
Yeah, and I agree with you, Congressman. I think this is going to backfire on them because, you know, it's one thing to attack the president. He's an easy target. But to attack General Petraeus, who was as good as they come, and you probably know him much better than I do, and to not only to attack him, I understand asking probing questions, but that Lantos with that supercilious, superior accent and voice of his, talking down to the general as though he were an usher in a movie theater, cannot help the Democrat Party at all.
No, I think that's true. But now you notice one thing, Michael. This hearing went on for hours. We had about 100 members of Congress there. Typically, you can keep their attention for 20, 30 minutes, and they've have to go off and do something. Almost every member of Congress stayed there for longer than any hearing I've ever seen. This was important to them, and the quality and capability of Petraeus came through. Democrats and Republicans got to the point where they listened to every single word that he gave. Nobody got tired out. Nobody left the room. Nobody.
Oh, no, he was a hero. This guy, how he could take that punishment for that amount of hours shows what he's made of. You know, who was it who said duty, honor, and country to him when they were attacking him? Somebody said, was it Ike Skelton?
No, that was me.
That was you. Thank you. No, I thought Ike Skelton, for a Democrat, behaved very well. Incidentally, I thought he was very dignified. Now, you represent which district in Southern California, Congressman?
52nd, Michael. San Diego.
Maybe I should move down there. I don't have a representative. I live in a captured republic up here, run by pseudo-Marxists and pseudo-intellectuals of the lowest order. Are you rerunning? Are you going to run for office again, Congressman Hunter? When would that be?
Oh, you know, I'm running for president, but you've got another Hunter running for my seat. His name is Marine Captain Duncan Hunter. He's in Afghanistan right now, and you know, Michael. He came back from doing 2 tours in Iraq, joined the day after 9/11, finished up 4 years in the Marines, got out. When I started to run for president, he came down to help me. He announced himself he was going to run for this seat, and 3 days later he got called back by the Marines. They called up 1,700 reservists. So he called them up. He said, I want to go tomorrow. And they said, well, you don't have to go till next February. He said, I want to go tomorrow because I can be back in November and I'm going to stay on the ballot. He's on the ballot for Congress in California, and he'll be back from Afghanistan in November. And you know something? It'll be good for this Congress to have a guy who's got combat experience in Iraq and Afghanistan in the U.S. Congress. And let me tell you, he's a better man than I am. He is a great guy.
And I assume he's related to you in some way.
He's just my son.
Well, I know how strong that bond is, and I tell you, I'm proud for you. This is beautiful. I would like to do a fundraiser for your son at any time that it's convenient for him, whether up here or down in the Los Angeles area. I will definitely go out of my way. I would donate my time, and I'll get my listeners to contribute money to him. We certainly need combat experienced men in Congress rather than these Daisy BB gun people like Ackerman and Lantos, who made my stomach turn today. But Congressman Hunter, again, I want to thank you for having the dignity to put up with what you had to put up with today. And General Petraeus really did come out as the hero he really must be, and the people who attacked him looked terrible. And let's hope the American people get to see the truth. Congressman Duncan Hunter, thanks for being with us on the Savage Nation.
Hey, many thanks, Michael.
Thank you. We'll go to break and come right back to